Alrighty, we have Miss Bounce in the house.
What is up?
What's crack-lacking, baby? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling. We haven't seen each other for a minute.
In a good minute. It's been, what? I'm like, when did I leave?
I don't know, half a year? No,
yeah,
I haven't seen you.
Definitely half a year.
Yeah.
Because I started rehearsals for that in September.
Yeah, so what were you touring for? You just got back recently?
Yes, I just got off a tour. I was with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
So what is that exactly? Is that like, you know, when you see that brand, like the AIDS like little symbol?
Yes.
Like, is that what that is?
So AHF is literally the head of like all the healthcare, AIDS Healthcare Foundation stuff.
Yeah.
So everything that they do in like life, first off, they're $1 billion company, like nonprofit.
That's awesome.
That's huge. So everything that they do is simply for making sure people are having safer sex. Period. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. So every event that they host throughout the year, mind you, they're back in Fort Lauderdale right now hosting an event for the Pride out there.
Yeah.
Everything's free. So our show, 1,500 plus people in the audience, and
there's no tickets or anything like that.
Was free. Every single ticket was free. All you had to do was reserve it. So
how do they do that?
So because they're $1 billion company and nonprofit, the events that they put on throughout the year and the companies they work with are how they like divvy that out. But so like for instance, our show was called Safer is Sexier. It was the West Side Story Burlesque show, Safer is Sexier, for their International Condom Day tour. So we went to 4 cities. Yeah. Houston, Tampa, or Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando. Okay. Those were our 4 cities. And in those 4 cities, before the show, they also had like you could get tested before the show, and you can do all these things. And so they have an office here in LA. Their other big places, Florida, that's where their other head office is. And so all the things, the events they do with like all that funding is turned back around for
these events.
So that
and
they
then
can give free events so
events.
people can come see.
That's awesome. Why I'm just confused, like, why would someone or a company, like, how would they come up with an idea of, like, this, like, half burlesque show, half West Side Story for, like, an AIDS foundation? That just, like, blows my mind. That kind of...
So it's funny because, like, when you think of, like, so I'm a part of the LGBTQIA community. Yeah. So, like, when I think of, like, flamboyant, like, I always think of burlesque. Like, it's just, like, a moment of characters, very sexy. Yeah. And when you think of our community, you think sexy. You think, like, very androgynous, very out there, just, like, very creative. So, when you think about musicals, you think of joy and, like, happiness. And I'll be honest, a lot of the LGBTQIA community is very into the musical scene and like the very out there scene. So
you think so?
Yeah, I would say so. Being an artist myself,
I feel like that's like mostly LA though, don't you?
That is true.
Wouldn't you agree?
That is very true.
Because like I feel like if you'll go to, I guess, the LGBTQ community and like, I don't know, like there's probably a small one in Texas or some in New York.
Yeah, no, they're huge.
Yeah, or like big too. Yeah. Like I feel like it's not the same as LA.
No, LA will always. It's also because we're very like free, like just like LA is like, don't think about it, don't ever question it. Like, I am who I am. It's a very liberating state. Liberating city.
I haven't been to WeHo in a long time, and I just went out 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you have fun?
It's a party.
Did you go to Heart?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Heart is the one that just opened.
Okay, I went to the Abbey. One of my good friends, bartender. Do you know DJ Bowie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're good friends.
Oh, love Bowie. I'm the first coach Bowie ever met.
She's dope. I bartend with her at Lavo now.
Oh my god,
she's amazing.
I gotta come see y'all.
Yeah, and she's trying to get out of the Abbey, but she works there. And then we went to go visit another friend at Laurel Hardware. Yeah. And I was just shocked about like, I think it was I want to say Tuesday. And it was a fucking party down the whole block, bruh. And I was like, COVID didn't exist. What's going on?
No, first of all, I'm like, the gays do not think COVID ever existed. I'm like, I can't join y'all on that one. Because I got it during Christmas, unfortunately.
Yo, Kiana got it too. She couldn't see like my family.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't see my family. I bawled. My girlfriend was opening up, like singing the national anthem for the Brooklyn Nets. Okay.
Oh, you're lying.
And we were on our flight.
That's so cool, by the way.
We were on our layover in Phoenix. Yeah. And as they because So my director gave it to all of us, which was like for rehearsals, we ended up getting, I know our whole cast was like affected by this first off. So when, you hear people talking about like, I got it and you're like, oh man, that sucks. So I was like, oh no, like this really does suck. It's more of like a mental thing than anything really. I didn't have any of the physical
Yours
stuff.
wasn't bad?
No, I had
really 105-degree fever. For 5 days.
My host of my show did too. And I was like, you're not okay. Yeah. But like, when you get it. So I got it. I was like, okay. Like, I bawled my eyes out because as we were boarding, they were like, hey, boarding to Jersey. Yeah. And my test came in and it was like positive. And the first thing I thought about was like, oh my God, my girlfriend has to open up for the Brooklyn Nets. Like, I'm right here next to her with our dogs. Like, we're supposed to all be taking a family trip. Our first time going to New York together because I used to live there.
Oh, no way.
And she's been there, but that would have been our first time like going together. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I got a flight back right away and like locked myself up at our place.
So you didn't see her perform live?
No, she didn't even get to do it. She got to New York, got tested, was perfectly fine. And then they had to cancel the game because a lot of the team was getting it. So they canceled the game and had to like reschedule the game. She still did get to go, but I still didn't get to go back with her because...
How did she book that? That's super cool.
Our friend dances for them. My girlfriend is sang for almost every LA team for the national anthem thus far. She only has, I think, hockey, baseball. She has Dodgers, the hockey team, and I think singing live for the Lakers.
That's lit.
She's done the Lakers, but it was during quarantine. So, that was on Zoom and they like streamed it. But
that's so lit.
Yeah, so she has to do that one in person. But she has like 3 teams left out here that she has to sing.
Is she so our friend, I thought she was a dancer too.
She's a singer. She sings for...
She pulls off dances all right on your stories.
She dances too. So, funny story. We grew up together. We've known each other since we were 6.
What?
And we grew up dancing together.
Okay.
And then... she started singing. She was in musical theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys from the same hometown?
Yeah, she's from Fort Worth. I'm from Dallas. So Dallas, Fort Worth.
Shit. Do you miss Texas at all?
I miss Texas every now and then. I call that my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's my recharge. When I need to go home, I go home.
How often do you go home?
I just went home after the tour finished. Okay. My mom graduated with her master's.
Congrats. Mama Bounce.
And she also crossed with a sorority. So we got to I know. I'm like, oh, Mom. But, she's proud to say she's 60 and did all this. So I'm proud to say it too. She's my superhero. Awesome. So I got to go home for that in replacement of missing Christmas.
That's all right.
But I try to go home at least once a quarter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like every 3 months I'll try. But normally it's like summer and then Christmas.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to go home when it feels busy. Like not necessarily busy because like you could always find time when you're busy, but I feel like the momentum of what you're trying to do. Like, you feel like you're on this roll, booking shit, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, dang, I want to go home. But there's this, like, momentum, like, keeping me, like, going. And
the main question you get is, like, when are we going to see you again? It's like, and like I said, I was like, I don't know. It depends on my schedule, Yeah. And it's not that I'm busy. It's that I'm booking, and that's what I'm
booked
out
and
here
blessed,
to do.
Baby.
Look, bounce, booked and blessed, triple B. Look.
Where did bounce come from?
So my crew leader growing up, I grew up dancing with Debbie Allen and my hip hop teacher.
Okay.
He's like, you're just always like bouncing around. You're always the hype man. You always got this spunk, and then it kind of developed into my little, Texas ass bouncing around. And so they just it stuck, and it wasn't as big of a thing as people thought it was when I first got it.
What do you mean? As big?
Like, my crew knew my name. Like your
actual name?
Yeah, my crew knows my name, but they knew me as Bounce. Like, they like,
what's your actual name?
Shawanda.
Shawanda? So, and what's your last name?
Woodson. Yeah,
Shawanda
so
Woodson.
now when I get booked, it's Shawanda Bounce. I dropped my last name. Because,
like Lily?
Yes, like Lily.
You like changed the paperwork and everything?
No, so like legally I do have I Am Bounce LLC. So I still can use Bounce in some way, shape, or form.
No. But like your actual legal last name, did you change it?
No. I just dropped it for like on TV and stuff, like film and stuff. Like when they ask us how you want it on credits, I don't put Woodson. It just says Shawanda Bounce because a lot of people know me as Bounce now.
Yeah.
If you met me when I moved back here into LA in 2018, you know me as Bounce.
Yeah.
But if you've known me since I was Bounce, you know, Shawanda dancing out here since I was 11, they know me as Shawanda that turned into Bounce, you know? So I always say, you know me, I know when you met me by what you call me.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's cool to have a like one-liner name like Bounce. That's it.
It is.
Like, you know, there's the Beyonce. I don't even know Beyonce's fucking last name. You know, like Eminem or like whatever. It's just that you know them. Yeah. And like I don't know if you purposely did it or not, but it's super memorable. That's awesome.
I had a viral video.
What was it?
It was called Bounce House Party.
Okay.
And
what was it on? What platform?
It was on, so I put it on Facebook first.
Okay. Is Facebook still big?
Honestly, for me, yes, because that's a lot of people still follow me from that. That blew up in 2016.
Oh shit.
2016, yeah, 2016. That my video blew up, and I mean, it was kind of like because it was Bounce House Party. They were like, "Oh, Bounce House Party." It was literally a video I did for fun for my birthday, and I was like, I love the 90s, so I was like, I want to have a house party, vibe out, make some choreo. It was my first time like showing my choreography to the world, like in that level of expertise in where I was. I dropped it on Facebook, and a month after I dropped it, I mean, it did good while it came out. It was just like cool, like wow, Bounce has this stuff. And after it came out, it was like April 16th, like a month later. Yeah. I woke up one day and my phone was blowing up. Like my phone woke me up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Like, and I look and it's just this page on Facebook took my video, posted it, and it's like famous dance page in like the Ukraine or something, like something super, shout out to the Ukraine, fighting for you. But like, it was like a company in the Ukraine that is known for dancing, and they had millions of followers. Posted it and it blew up. And I mean, that video has like 15 million views.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, huge. And then another page posted it, and another page posted it. And that's kind of how Bounce really stuck, because people end up meeting me as like Bounce from Bounce House Party.
How does it feel when obviously you can't like picture like 15 million people? Like you could picture like, I don't know, like for example, when in my I was like my high school graduation speaker, right? 18,000 people looked at me. It was a whole stadium, right? That was a long time ago. But
what year did you graduate?
14 or 15? 15?
Oh, I feel old. High school, I graduated in 2011.
I mean, that was 4 years. That's it. You're chilling.
I feel old.
But like, I could picture 18,000 people. Yeah. I can't picture any, like, I feel like 1 million and 15 million would look like the same to me. That's just like insane.
First off, even just when we did our shows for the tour, they were like, yeah, it was like 1,500 plus people here. I'm like, was there? Because that looked like, to me, it looked like maybe 800. But that's what my eye sees. But you just never,
you can't comprehend that.
You never know. Like, you really never know. They're like, oh yeah, millions of people were in the audience. You're like, were there? No, I really can't. Like, I still, till this day, like every year around that time, it blows up again. The election. Yeah. During the election, it blew up again because Philly swung the vote. This past election.
What blew up?
My video.
From the election?
Yes, because
how that make sense?
One of the most famous directors out right now posted it and was like, shout out to Philly for swinging the vote. Because I danced to Motown Philly, and Boyz II Men, who sings that song, is from Philly. She used my video as like this is what we all doing right now, partying. And next thing I know, my phone was blowing up again this year. And funny story, YouTube, somebody hacked my YouTube in 2019.
Oh no. Did you get your stuff back?
No. Oh. They hacked it, took my email off of it, and then put it on another email, so I had no control over it. I could still get in and go and search it, but when I got on my page, it was nothing there. What they ended up doing is like deleting my page completely, deleting everything off of it. And when I tell you devastating, I was like, I'm not putting anything back on YouTube. Like, I'm over it. But right before that had happened, I had somehow just re-downloaded and like everything on my YouTube just for safety. I don't know. I didn't,
God.
Like
You just had a feeling.
Preconceived notion. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do this for safety. Got a new hard drive. I was like, I'm going to put it on there.
Just downloaded it, yeah.
That happened. And I was like, wow, people that knew me are like not gonna know me anymore. Because YouTube for a dancer is pretty big.
Is it?
It's pretty big when you were known in the time where it was already a big thing. Okay. Now, okay, it's like vlogging and stuff, and people are trying to. YouTube may not be as big now, but for somebody like me who had a following already and was already doing stuff, it was big. So I had people that, like I said, from around the world that
were hitting you up and stuff.
Yeah. Looking for the video now, and they're like, "What happened? Like you disappeared." I'm looking it up, like on my Facebook. Like
it's still
I'm looking
on Facebook though.
It's still on Facebook. Okay. What I did though is I put it back up when she posted. The director posted on Twitter for the election. Yeah. It blew up again, so now it's back to like 15 plus views. That's 1,000 views. And
that's what's up.
Now people are like seeing it again, but just like the thought of like all that work I did back then, which wasn't really me working for it. It just happened to catch on. Was gone, and it's like taking what you worked with and for so hard and just like wiping it from under your ass. It's like, okay.
I would have cried.
I did. I called my parents and I was like, everything's gone and all my hard work's gone.
Did you put that video on YouTube too? Because I feel like
it blew up.
Because I feel like you definitely got money from that, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like somebody like me, I was making money off of YouTube. Yeah. Now I can't because at the time it was like you only needed 100 subscribers to start getting monetization. Now you need 1,000. And I'm only at like 800. And it's like, oh yes, I can get there, but that's a lot of work to just that I didn't have, not to say I'm being lazy, but that I did not have to do the first time because it was organic and I wanted to continue being organic. So
that's annoying. Yeah. What do you call it? So how many tours have you been on? Is this like the first, second, third? I don't know.
My first official tour would have been the cruise ship that I was on. Okay. I was in Japan and China for 11 months.
How was that experience?
Fun. Yeah. So fun. Oh my gosh, so fun. Long. Yeah. Very pivotal stage of my life.
How so?
Grown woman status, turning 25 out there. First time away from family in that, like at that level of life, like, and being away where my world was continuing on and the world I was in was repetitive because it was just China to Japan. Although I got to see like the same places in Japan, I got to see different areas within those places. Cool. Eventually it became, repetitive. Yeah. And I lost my grandfather while I was on the ship. So it was like my first time experiencing lost that far away from family where I couldn't just like get to them. You know what I mean?
Like be there.
Yeah, but also very pivotal in me understanding who I was as a performer, taking life for what it was at the time, being appreciative of what life was giving me, living on water in the middle of the ocean, seeing another part of the world. Yeah.
Some experiences.
I can't complain.
So you went on to that tour. And then, is this your second one?
Yeah. Okay. So this is my second official one.
Official tour.
But I've done a lot of residencies. Okay. I'm in a burlesque show, Cherry Boom Boom. And
where's that one at?
So it's here. It was a residency here in LA. And then we moved to Vegas, and we were in Vegas. We've been to Vegas twice. Okay. Yeah. What's
the best part and worst part about tour? Because like, there's a lot of dancers. I kind of got in the dance world from like knowing Kev.
Kev! Shout out to Kev. We love you, Kev.
We love you, Kev. And I didn't know dance was a thing in LA. Like, I just didn't know. Like,
it's huge.
No, you're right. I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I just didn't know it existed. I was like, what, people like dance and they make money. And then since dating Kiana and stuff, she was like, imagine this like. We'll go to a concert. Imagine this whole show without a dancer or out the dancers. I'm like, good point. You can't. It makes the show. But my point was like a lot of dancers, their goal is to like land a tour, land a something. That's like on bucket list of for dancers is like, I need to be on a tour. That's a goal, blah, blah, blah. But obviously like, I don't know, just tell me your experience of like what's your worst and what's the best thing and worst thing about it, because obviously you're kind of like leaving your life to go experience your life.
So what I'll say is I am not the typical dancer.
How so?
So I grew up dancing out here. Okay. A lot of people move out here to
when did you move out here?
That dream. So I moved the first time in 2015. Okay. And then I moved back in 2018 after doing Vegas and then doing the ship and then coming back. However, I grew up dancing out here because I grew up dancing with Debbie Allen, who is a staple out here in Los Angeles. She's the director of directors. She is that woman. Yeah. But I've been dancing with her since I was 6. Yeah. And so she would do a intensive in Dallas for 2 weeks and then give scholarships to come out here. So I've been coming out here dancing since I was 11, and I have family out here. So for me, I like to live the me lifestyle and the dance me lifestyle. I don't like to, like, I have friends that are dancers, but like when I step out of that dance room, yes, I'll talk about dance and I'll do all the dance stuff.
Yeah.
But I like to just be me.
Yeah.
You know, and not be bounce the dancer all the time.
Sure.
And
that makes sense. That's
like
accurate.
when it comes to tour life, like I feel like the experience is so different for each person. Like me, I don't lose sight of my normal routine. Like I'll get up, I'll have my meditation moment. I'll vibe out in the morning. Like I try to keep a routine to make it feel like home and not like I'm not in my house. You know, bus life is already enough. Like it's like ship life. Thinking about every move that you're doing, like going to the restroom, knowing you like I can't flush toilet paper down the restroom because it could ruin the whole entire bus or the whole entire ship. Or I feel like when you're stepping away from your life, you got to bring your life with you. Like it's easy to say like I'm leaving home and it's not going to be the same, but it could be. Yeah. Like I don't like to step away from my routine.
Yeah. I feel like that's important. I've never really heard that because like I have I have some friends who will go on like trips for like jobs, which is similar to tour. Like you're going somewhere else.
Oh, I'm a big one on jumping on a plane that's paid for me to go to a job.
But like they'll be like, fuck, like my day-to-day is like whacked out. Like you know? Right. But you keeping these routines is like sounds very important, and it seems like keeps you like sane and like your life's normal.
I'm like, you get a call sheet. They tell you, okay, you got to be up at 6 a.m. All right, bet I got to be up at 6 a.m. So maybe I'll have to just get up at 5 o'clock. Maybe I'll have to get up at 5 o'clock. Or if I can't get up at 5 and I'm getting up like 5:30 to be downstairs by 6 so that we can go, I'm gonna make sure I get up to at least get my coffee and have a moment to myself. Like your day, you have to set up your days. I'm a big person about that. Like in life in general, you have to set up your days. Like if you know you woke up in a bad mood, you have the right to change it around. So okay, cool, I woke up in a bad mood, let me get my stuff together before I step out this door. 100%. And get it back together.
What's your meditation routine?
So in the mornings, me and my girlfriend are good. We love incense. We love candles. Okay. I'm a big tea person. So I like to intermittent fast. Okay, so I like to start with tea. Tea in the morning. Tea, my normal routine, face wash, brush my teeth, get myself together. Like to sit down, write down on a journal, write out how I'm feeling for the day.
Is it like, do you have a structure to your journal? Or is it just like word vomit? It's like whatever you're thinking.
Honestly, it's word vomit. Yeah. I've had structure. I'm a big structure person, but I'm learning to take my structure and loosen it up
down a notch. Why is that? Do you think it's too much structure is bad?
I don't think too much structure is bad. I think there's there's structure within flow. I think there is structure within flow. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that I think you can let something flow and it still be perfect for what it needs to be. Okay. A lot of people are like, flowing is like, I'm going with the wind, and it's like, yeah, you are, but also the wind goes this way and then you go back this way. Yeah. It's flowing as long as you're not trying to take control of it. 100%. Like I'm not a control freak. I won't say I'm a control freak, but I'm a military kid. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me schedule out my day. And it's like, if I used to be like, oh man, I didn't finish this within that hour. Sure. It's like, no, it's okay. Like you can still get it done. Like it can still flow without being right on time.
Were your parents military parents?
My dad is military. Okay. My mom is just a military wife. Okay. But they're both artists as well. So it kind of...
Oh, there's like a beauty between that.
I've got a lot. My dad wasn't very strict on military lifestyle. Okay. He understood life. You know what I mean? So we didn't live the like moving around life. He let us stay in a spot and he moved around, which I love. Like I still got structure within flow.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate that.
You know what I mean? And I do too. I do too. I'm very grateful for it.
Because I have a couple friends who like moved around with I guess their whole family the entire time, and like they said, yeah, cool, it was a great experience, but they had to like reinvent themselves and like relearn every single step. And I feel like that dampens the beauty of like growing up and learning, and
I have family members I watch jump around, and I'm like, I just wish I would have just sat down for a little bit. Life is, you view it differently, you know. And I can't even like. Did you travel a lot when you grew up?
No, not at all.
Okay, where are you from? LA?
No, I was born in San Fran, Menlo Park area. Okay. And then raised in Fresno.
Okay, cool.
And then moved out here in 5 years ago.
So I have a lot of friends in California I grew up with that are from LA. Never left LA. And I have a lot of friends from Dallas that have never left Dallas. Or they've never left Texas.
Sure. Yeah.
And as easy, like I said, home is a comfort zone. My view of life and their view of life are totally different. Yeah. I've been on a plane.
You can't even count.
I can't even count. Like, I've been on a plane so much that the moment... Okay, guys, I dropped out of college twice from 2 different schools, okay? I left OSU my freshman year.
Don't say it like a bad thing, Bounce.
It's not a bad thing. I don't feel bad about it at all, okay? I don't regret not a move I've ever made, and I'm very grateful for
That's awesome.
it. Although I used to, like, knock myself like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do anything I really want to do because I don't have a degree. Like, I love teaching at schools, but... I made a program myself to contract with schools now that I can go teach at schools every year. I had to figure it out. But my parents are brainiacs. My mom was supposed to go to MIT.
Oh, shit.
Like, it's just like a black woman from the South in the 60s. They didn't want to give her the money for it, so she turned down going to MIT. But my mom is a brainiac. I told y'all, she just got her master's. Yeah. So she's great at what she does. But... my lifestyle was very different than a lot of my friends. Yeah. In the summers, they were at summer dance or summer programs, sports, camps and all this stuff in Texas. And I was here in LA for a month dancing, or in New York for a month dancing, or somewhere else dancing. My brother's summer trips were wherever I was. That's where the whole family was going. Yeah. My brother started traveling more because of me, and I'm the baby. Oh. Like, I got to see the world. My mom didn't leave America until I flew my parents out for their 36th wedding anniversary to Japan. Yeah. They landed in China.
That's a great gift.
Right. They landed in China on their anniversary. Yeah. I picked them up, brought them onto the ship, and they got to enjoy my very last cruise of my contract with me. Got to see me perform. That's awesome. My mom's first time with a passport, first time ever leaving America, like ever, first. Yeah. When I look at it now, I'm like, my life is just different. Well,
the thing is, I think about when you said the comfortability of like at home, it's not necessarily comfort. I think it's like, the unknown and being scared of leaving.
So okay, yeah.
I think it's a little different because it's comfortable, but they're also probably scared to leave.
Scared is so I live by fear. False evidence appearing real.
Oh, okay. False. I like that.
False evidence appearing real. Yeah. Am I scared being out here? Hell yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Why are you scared?
Every day. Every day is a new thing.
Really?
But I'm not letting that
fuck with you.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where the comfort part comes. It's like I would rather stay here and be okay with everything being great and not experience anything new. Not knowing that what you're going to experience somewhere else you could have experienced at home. Sure. But you just know it so well. Yeah. We know LA is crazy, okay? But I'm also, when I say I'm scared out here, I'm not saying I'm scared like, oh my God, I'm going to run away from it. It's just like every day is a new adventure. Like if I didn't look at it as like something that could just be potentially something very different from what I expected, I would never go for it. Yeah. But I'm a person, I am a daredevil.
Yeah. I mean, I'll
jump out of a plane in a second. Yeah. I will.
Have you gone skydiving?
Absolutely.
Fuck with it. It's one of the best things I've ever done.
It's the best, most... I tell everybody.
Were you about to say relaxing?
Yes. But you know what? Okay, don't. On the ship, I became a certified indoor skydiver. Oh. With lit. Indoor skydiving, so I fly, so it's fun, and I got used to it from that. So I think when I jumped out, my girlfriend went with me. My dad went for the first time after being out of the military.
Did your girlfriend flip?
She did, and she was like, okay, that's all I ever needed. We don't need to do it again. Whereas I'm like, Dubai is my biggest goal. I want to do it over the palms in Dubai. Like, that is my biggest.
I got my parents to do it for their 30th.
First of all, your parents are so 20. Cute. Okay, working out.
Oh, working out? I got them to work out because like they're super into pickleball now. Like they're playing pickleball tournaments. They just got like first place in a pickleball tournament this time.
Shout out to the parents.
Shout out. But like they're getting like tendonitis and stuff because they're not strong.
Right.
So now they're working out. They feel fucking better. They're like going through their day. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And that just plays like fitness is like.
Right.
You got to move.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're a fucking dancer. Like the movement's different. There's levels to this.
My parents and I are connected on our Apple Watches. I'm like, you haven't moved today.
Yeah. So, Miss Bounce, what do you call it? Your eggs are in mini baskets, or they were. And so me and Bounce, the first time I met her, I was late to my first shift at F45 West Hollywood because I didn't know I taught there. I thought I just taught at Studio City. So I pull up to Studio City, which is in the valley of LA, if you guys don't know where LA is. And I had to be in West Hollywood at the time. And this is during mid-coronavirus, and I go and like I'm so confused because we're not in studios. Like gyms aren't allowed to be open. So I go, apparently we're working out in a garage of an apartment building, right? And I go into this, like, honestly, it's not clean. It's not a nice garage. Like, and all this nice like equipment is like just laid out on the bottom floor of an apartment building, and Bounce is just like, yo, what's good?
no give. Like the floor is the floor, okay? It's like nothing.
Yeah. I don't know how you did that too, because I feel like if I had to do that much longer, like you did it for a long time. We had to carry these weights probably 10 or close to like 10,000 or like 5 to 10,000 pounds, like of kettlebells, dumbbells, like our Revo bars and everything like that. We had to carry that in like this wagon and bring it up to the studio every single day.
Literally downstairs, wagon, put everything that you can without killing your arms trying to roll it. First off, the elevator was around the corner. So you had to put everything in, roll it from our setup to the elevator.
It's hard to roll it. There's like thousands of pounds on.
The weights were making the tires flat. Like just catastrophe, okay? We did it, and I did it for a good minute. So what month did you come in?
I have no clue. I don't remember.
Okay, so I started in January. I literally started right after New Year's. I got the job like December 30th.
I started like after my birthday. So it was probably April.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, because it was after my birthday, because I had just gotten back from Mexico.
Yeah. No. So it was before that, because I remember.
Okay, then it was like March.
But probably early March or late February.
Okay. Yeah. So I started, maybe a month or two.
Because I met you, then you left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So like February.
Okay.
I have been doing it for maybe a month, but I was coaching almost every day.
I did it for a couple weeks, and then they like relaxed it.
And then we were like, okay, we're going inside. Finally.
I don't know how Bounce did it, because she would coach by herself sometimes, and it's a fuck ton of weight, and like objectively, like small female, a lot of fucking weights, and I was like, damn, this girl be moving fucking shit.
Yo, with the nails. Okay, they called me the pretty like rough coach. Like I'm like, go, and then I'm also like, all right guys, look at my nails today. Like I'm not picking up weights. I'm gonna not demo because I'm trying not to break a nail.
Yeah. So back to my point, like, what's your, I guess, like, motivation to, like, oh, yeah, I want to get into personal training. I want to do this. I want to do that. Because, like, in the beginning, you came out here for dance, right?
I did.
But obviously, like myself, like, I'm curious. I just want to do a ton of shit, which is, like, a great thing. But there's also, like, a curse. Yeah. You know?
So I always say everything that I do it literally is in line with who I am and my why. Like,
what is your
my purpose of being here? Yeah. My purpose is to leave my footprint on everybody's heart that I come across.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And to make everybody a better person of who they are. I come from a big family. I come from support. I come from love. But I also come from, struggle. I'm a Black woman. I'm a African-American female independent woman. Sure. I'm also a part of the LGBTQIA community. Like, there's already enough targets on my back. Why put more on myself, you know? So when I step out of the door every single day, my dad has always said, like, when you step out of this door, you're a Woodson. Like, you're representing not just you're representing us and all that we are. And that's what I'm here for. My purpose is to leave my footprint on people's lives. And like I said, in everything I do, it's who I am. you never walked into the studio where I wasn't smiling.
Yeah.
You never walked in where I wasn't bubbly.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I am Bounce.
Sure.
Like, I am Bounce. Like, that is true to who I am.
100%.
My students are my everything. I love kids. And I come from a big family, but my parents are godparents to 7 kids.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have an older brother. I have siblings, you know, so.
Yeah.
I just feel like when you step into this world, you're here for a reason and we all need each other. So just do your part of this puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, we're all a part of a bigger picture than we're looking at.
But I guess your why doesn't have to necessarily be with all those like curiosities.
No.
Like, what drives you to that? Why do you think you're that way?
What drives me are my students.
For everything?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. Who I am as a person is already enough.
Do you mean students, like students as like just like anybody?
Anybody.
Okay.
Anybody.
Got that.
Anybody. I've come across so many people in my life. And that's what I was saying. Like, people from home, my perspective of life is very different than theirs. Like, I used to have friends like, oh, you have friends, best friends everywhere. And I'm like, I have best friends from different walks of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they stepped into my life in a different...
Some people think, because I get that compliment, I mean, or not compliment, you could decide, of like, oh, you have best friends everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I feel like that's a good thing.
I do.
I was like, why are you saying that as a bad thing?
Right.
Because people will say like, it's not good if you have a lot of like too many friends. And I was like, why?
Why?
I know. Why do people think that?
So I always talk about how we have left being human beings and people have just started being humans now.
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean like humans are robots and human beings are being with whatever life gives them. And we used to live like that. It used to be just like, let me see what the world's giving me today and I'm a move with that and I'm a, figure it out. And that doesn't mean you're not, like, nobody's perfect. First off, let's just remember that. Like,
sure.
Nobody is perfect. The greatest perfection is imperfection. That's when you know it's real.
100%.
Quoted by me. But, like, I don't think it's a curse. I don't.
I don't either.
I think it's a great thing.
I don't either.
I think when people look at it, we've been taught so long as robots, being humans, that you only have one best friend and the friends you grow up with are going to be your only friends and y'all are going to go
You're just
far.
talking about like how society projects.
Society has projected this for so long.
Sure.
That sometimes, I mean, I've read a book. There's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I think I have it here somewhere.
Oh, I love that book. And then I read this year, The One Thing.
One Thing's good.
Which is why I said I stopped being so set on because The One Thing was like, that it was like, yeah, you can be files and putting it together and organized, but also it's okay to go with that one thing and just keep going with the flow. It's okay. And it doesn't mean you're not changing who you are.
Yeah.
That's where I got that from, by
That's
the way.
But it's weird that reading's important, I think.
It is.
Because it gives you perspective from a different person outside of like your circle or your education or your life. And it makes you think differently about something. You could either decide like, oh, I agree with that and I'm going to put that in my life. Or you could disagree with it and be like, at least I understand the other side of the perspective, So
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Mark Manson.
Yes.
Shouts out.
Shout out to him. Is where I started thinking that way. Like, okay.
Think about what?
Like, just like, I do. I have different friends from different walks of life.
Sure.
I do have a lot of best friends. But the reason for that is why I am who I am. Like, I have changed. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the people that say that and feel that way are still stuck in that one mindset of who they are. And I'm wholeheartedly a believer of the trauma and the things that we've gone through life. And trauma is not always a negative. I want people to understand that. Like, trauma doesn't mean it was something bad, like, at all.
What does it mean then?
Sometimes, for me, trauma, I have a friend that was sheltered her entire life from her parents' experience of them growing up in the generation they grew up in and being black. They sheltered her a lot of her color and put her more around others or just like the Caucasian community.
Oh, so just like they put her in like not your guys' environment.
Not our environment. And that's what she grew up with. So she even said like a couple years ago, no, not 2 years ago, for a minute, I didn't realize I was black. And hearing that from a black woman, it was like,
what?
Explain. And she was like, it wasn't that I didn't see my color. It was that everything I resonated with, it had nothing to do with and that was traumatic for her.
Sure.
Like I personally, in my mind, switched that. And that was for me, like another thing that's not a negative. It's not a bad thing. No. It was how she was raised because her parents were protecting her from something that they went through.
But were they protecting her?
But that's what I'm saying. There's always two sides to every perspective.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think there's a good and a bad. There's a lesson and a lesson. Like the Will Smith stuff from last night. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I don't think it was a bad thing. The way he went about it, maybe. But I know my brother, me, my dad, my mom, anybody. If somebody would have brought up something that I know that my loved one personally was dealing with, that they have already projected and said out loud that they were a little uncomfortable with, or not feeling themselves with, I would stand up for them too. Maybe not a slap, maybe not a punch, maybe not that, but even if I would have reacted and went off on somebody, someone would have had something to say.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
there's I have this guy I follow on Instagram. He took a different take on it. On the slap. He was like, he related it back to masculinity and like mental illness and stuff like that. And I was like, I see where you're coming from, but I don't know if it was that. Like in terms of, he was saying that that Will had some mental illness in terms of like his masculinity being shown that way, that he just reacted in that manner, and it could have been differently. I mean, I could see that as a possibility. Or it could have been like, I'm standing up for my wife and I'm gonna fucking slap this bitch because in 2016 it's
somewhere in here.
It's right here.
Have you read it?
I read half.
Okay. I'm doing the audio because I wanted to hear him say it. I love it.
Yeah.
So you've read enough to know his perspective with his mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Last night, that's what I saw.
Okay.
I never stood up for my mother when I was younger.
He never did.
Never. Literally said that. You didn't even move with your mother.
He felt, in better terms, he felt like a bitch.
Yes.
In terms of like, I can't stand up for people who I love.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what did he do last night?
He stood up for someone he loved.
And the mother of his kids.
Yeah.
Whereas he was watching his mother.
I didn't wrap that around. Good point.
I'm going to read you something. Because I think you would love this. I love this. I posted it today because my sister-in-law is a very good speaker. She has written her own documentary on Kinloch in St. Louis, because she's from St. Louis.
Nice.
But she wrote this, and I just thought it resonated so well in so many different, and not 1 point, but 6 points. 8 points.
8 points.
She said, why do y'all care so much about how we look in front of white folks? Let's start there. That's number one. It didn't matter. A lot of people made it about race, and I thought that was interesting. If you actually follow Will in his work, he specifically said how much he regrets not protecting his mom from the abuse of his father in the moment. Last night made sense. In the moment, he protected her.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that if it was The Rock. The Rock wouldn't say any of that. The Rock is not him. So you don't know what The Rock would do.
Yeah.
And you can't take The Rock. I just
Are you talking about Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So you let Jada embarrass you with August Alsina. Will has specifically said his marriage has never had infidelity. August addressed their circumstances. Jada and Will responded. Y'all take sound bites of these interviews and make a new narrative. Jada never shaded her sex with Will. She addressed how her expectations were for her partner and what she wanted for their marriage. So long. Y'all got to get back to reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Read.
Yeah.
Reading is very important.
Yeah. The whole thing with like people, if it's like with COVID or with race or like whatever, like I think it's important that not necessarily do your research, but understand like why are they coming after me in this way? Because it makes sense to them. Right. And like, obviously this makes sense to me, but I might not know what they're experiencing.
Right.
And just if you could relate it back to this slap last fucking night.
That had a lot of power behind it, okay?
Oh,
and a walk back that was like, I don't give a fuck.
I touched my face after I saw it. I was like,
first of all, I was like, did that just happen? No, that really just happened. Like, no, that was staged. I was like, nah. No, that was not staged.
And the funny thing is that they're just like the goats of their craft. Like Chris Rock is the goat of comedy, and Will Smith is just the fucking goat.
Right. Exactly. But the last one my sister-in-law said, because my sister-in-law just within the last year has found out she has an autoimmune, disease. And she said, let somebody publicly joke about my autoimmune disorder. My brother is going to go to jail. That's what she said. Devin is going to jail. It's true, though.
Do you think that's important? Do you think that's okay?
Just embarrassing somebody?
No, that your brother would go to jail for like, for example, me.
Protecting his wife?
Yeah. For example, for me, I will never throw a punch unless like, say a good friend of mine like goes, like starts it and I'm like, fuck, I have to defend my boy.
So I'm always that person. I'm like, I know friends that they'll watch their friends go through stuff and I'm like, if we're going to jail, we're going to jail together, girl. Like,
right. But the thing is, like, if a good friend of mine isn't throwing the first punch or anything like that, I'm a very big proponent of like.
I'm not a combative person. I will tell you that.
Talking.
Yes, I am a talking person.
Yeah.
Now, once again, going back to Will's side and his mental thought process, I'm sure he was like, protect my woman first. Okay. If you looked at Jada, she looked like, where are you going? Like, what's going on? Like,
I didn't see it. I didn't see her face.
So they snapped at her for a second. I finally got the full clip with like, because they bleeped out Chris Rock's what he said after that. But he was like, Will just actually like slapped me, blah, blah, blah. But Jada had kind of like, where are you going? Like, concern. However, I think my thing is like, a lot of people forget she has literally publicly said how like she's still trying to find comfort. That woman loves her hair. Let me just talk about it first. Like, I love my hair. The reason I cut my hair was because being on the ship, that water was chlorinated, and it's so much chlorine in it that when I got back here, my hair was so brittle. I was like, I'm finally ready to cut it all off. And it just happened to work for me that I've been wanting to do this for so long, but I had such a hold on my hair. Yeah. When I did it, it actually worked better for me. I get booked way more with my hair short. But my hair used to be to my ass, like down my back. Yeah. Jada has always been a woman known for her hair and the styles and who she is. She's been in this industry for a long time.
Also, I didn't understand like the struggles of black people hair until I dated a black girl.
Exactly. And it's a lot. It's a lot that we already go thinking about. Like, you have so many different textures of hair as a black woman.
Oh, yeah.
So like Jada cutting off her hair, she actually has what I have. I have eczema. So I had minor alopecia for a minute. Sure. And the comfort of even trying to hide it even though it was like in the back, I was like, I'm not putting my hair up.
Is eczema alopecia?
So eczema can bring on alopecia.
Okay.
Yeah, eczema can bring on alopecia. So my eczema was just enough
Alopecia's just like losing hair.
Right, yeah. So you just lose your hair. So I was losing my hair. At that point, that's when I started doing the undercut. Yeah. To, block that out. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, okay, it's alopecia. Like, it's not that major of a thing. Like, and I'm like, but if it was cancer, you would be feeling the same way too. When they're losing their hair, it's the same thing. It's a part of your image. A lot of people forgot that side of what was going on. So the joke he made, although yes, he is a comedian and yes, people do get picked on a lot. My brother brought up something today. This is not the first time Chris Rock has pointed.
2016.
Exactly. Yeah. This is not the first time he's
Oscars
pinpointed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Pinpointed her. And not only that, the last time he talked about her, it was a whole bunch of men and he brought her up and it was like, why? Exactly. And that's where a lot of people are forgetting. They're like thinking about yesterday, and it's like,
again, they don't read. They don't
exactly.
understand
You have not. This is the first. And so when he said keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, he meant that because this is not the first time we've had to deal with it. Yeah. Y'all are looking at one perspective. Yeah. And that, like I said, I'm a person. I'm not of conflict at all. Yeah. I hate combativeness. I hate conflict. I'm a person. I'm a talker. Because I don't do well with that. I don't do well with stress. Yeah. So, we're reading. It's just,
no, but back to the point. Do you think that's okay?
Like, no, I don't think how he handled it is okay. But standing up for your wife, I do. Yeah. At the end of the day, I do.
I'm also, you do it different ways. That's why.
Yes, in different perspectives. Yeah. Also, I'm a black woman, so I get it. But my brother, I will tell you, my dad, my family probably would have did the same. My whole family would have been behind me if that would have happened, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've already had to deal with it with family, with being a part of the LGBTQIA community.
Yeah. How does that affect you, by the way? Because I can't relate. I'm not black. I'm not gay. Right? But I guess my point being is, like, I listen to a lot of motivational talks, right? So I'll listen, I guess if you do from a black person's standpoint, like, I'll listen to, like, a talk by, like, Floyd Mayweather or, like, who was it? Like, Mike Tyson or something like that. And they won't bring up race much. They will, like, for those, like, a certain perspective, a lot of white people do it. They just say, no, I'm saying
like, we don't have to. I can understand why they don't.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't feel like we have to. We already dealt with enough. Like,
what are you talking about?
Like, just bringing up race in general.
Yeah.
It's not needed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying we don't have to talk about it.
Like here?
No.
Oh, in general.
Yeah, in general. It's not needed.
And I was like, but my point was, like, they'll say, like, we already went through that period, and we're born in the United States. You know, you have an opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want with your life.
Right.
And yes, I agree that people went through, like, a hard time, especially the African American community, but they don't give that excuse anymore. But I don't know if it's because I don't know, because they went up with that mentality. They went through their whole career having a mentality that it doesn't matter, like, your color of your skin or, like, whatever, to achieve what you want to achieve.
Right.
And I'm at a mixed point with, like, my beliefs, because I have a ton of friends on, like, LGBTQ side and, like, race side that will, like, blame, oh yeah, I'm not getting there because of this, because of that.
Yeah.
And I could agree to some standpoint, because, like, if you're born, everyone's dealt a different deck of cards.
Right.
But, like, I don't know if that has to do with race. What's your perspective on that?
So, being a part of both, race is, okay, first off, maybe because of even where they're, like, what they may be associated with might be a part of it too.
Yeah.
Now, being who I am in this dance community, although what may meet the eye to the public eye as there's a lot of black women in the dance community. Yeah. It's still hard, because a lot of those times, like teams and, like, jobs, there's one.
Yeah.
All these people.
Yeah.
And there's one.
What do you mean? For, like, I don't know, for example,
everything. Like cheer.
I was about to say.
Dance teams.
Like dance teams.
I know for a fact, like, colleges, they'll normally try to have, like, a darker, a middle, like a brown, and then a light skin. Yeah. Like, they'll try to have every shade.
Yeah. Or I just get confused because, like, for example, look up, I have, like, Muhammad Ali right there, right? And all the people that I look up to are probably, like, 60%, 70% are all black people, right? And I'm just like, like, how are... do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes. So I always tell people, I always say, you know how people are always like, you have to look at the background. Like, you have to consider the background too. Mm-hmm. You do. Yeah. I have friends that their parents were racist, and they're like, I'm nowhere like that, because my parents happened to expose me to other races, and therefore I grew up very different than they did. And although I might want to change their perspective or try to change their perspective, I'm a big person. You can't change everybody. Sure. You can't change everybody. Yeah. Some people are stuck in their ways. Mm-hmm. My parents are very supportive of me, but it took me a long time for my mom to even get used to the LGBTQIA part of me. Yeah. Me being a lesbian was a lot. Yeah. A lot. As a black woman from the South, I came out when I was 18. But I was showing that, but way before. But I said it myself. 18, but I was doing that way before. I was dating girls and doing all that stuff way before. And
they just kind of, like, brushed it off.
Yes, and they knew, but they, she's my mom. She knows me better than I know myself. But, I had to teach my mom. My dad was like, you have to teach her how to love you. Yeah. It's the same way with jobs.
Your dad kind of took
my dad, my cousin, who's only, like, a year older than me, actually has been gay or, like, out her entire life. Okay. And so for me, it kind of made it easier for me speak up for myself. Not easier in the sense of the process, but to speak up for who I am because I saw her doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how hard it was for her, but it was a little bit easier. Sure. Now, jobs, for instance, like I said, like we have friends that are like, I didn't get this job because of this. And it's like, somebody on that team, maybe that is the reason you didn't get it. And it is possible. I've been the only black girl for a lot of jobs. The tour, AHF, only black female. Dancer, wasn't only black female, but only black female dancer.
Do you not think that's total competency though? Maybe you're just like the best dancer of, and you just got it. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. But also no.
You don't think so? Okay.
A lot of jobs you find out in the midst of it. Okay. You can tell. Like that vibe you just get when you don't. And there's
I'm just curious because like, for example, basketball.
Yeah.
You know basketball.
Oh, we love basketball.
And you're good. And I feel like basketball is a competence hierarchy, right? Meaning if you're fucking good at basketball, you're going to be on the team. But it's just weird for me. You basically just said if you're not the best dancer, you're not necessarily going to get the job.
That's it. It's the same. It's the same as other sports. I will say that.
No, you just said it's not the same as other sports. Because I believe it should be that, right? And you just said it's not.
No, it's not that though. Yeah,
but I'm saying basketball is that.
It is. It is off of talent.
If you are the best basketball player, you're going to be on the team, regardless of color, regardless of if you're gay or not. If you are the fucking best basketball player, you're going to be on the team.
Yeah, no, dance isn't like that. I will tell you that.
Yeah, but why? Why do you say that? Do you know for a fact that a dancer who's like really, 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 really good and won't make it because of certain qualities?
So as I tell my students when I'm mentoring them and getting them ready for this world that we are in as far as creatives, you don't know what's going on behind that table.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're looking for. Sure. Even if they send out an audition and they're like, we're looking for African American, blonde, brunette, blah, blah, anybody. Like they'll specifically, and do you know typecasting? Have you heard of typecasting? Okay, so in dance or in the like,
is that like when they're looking for certain height, certain?
Oh, typecasting is literally like all the blonde white girls over here, all the black girls over here, all the Asian girls over here, all the brunettes over here, all the guys over here. Line up. Thank you. Thank you. All y'all have the same hair color, but they're still going to choose exactly what they're looking for.
Really?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Next group. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now they want to see you dance. You've already got cut for just looking the way you look. Then you go dance and then you're getting cut again. Maybe or not. Like, you have so many other steps that you go through.
It's not just your basketball.
It's not just your basketball skills. You could be the best dancer in the room and they already have somebody that looks like you. Yeah. So they're going to go with the next person who might not be the best dancer, but they need that look. Okay. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
But that's why I always tell people, like, when I finally explained the industry that we're in to my parents and letting them know, like, starving, I love and hate the phrase starving artist. Back in the day, I would say starving artist was a negative because it was literally people going out on a whim. And some people are still doing that and just seeing what happens. And
move to LA with no money.
Yes.
And
I wasn't raised that way. My mom and dad were like, you are a businesswoman first. Although you are a dancer, when you step on that stage, you are a businesswoman first. You and your body are your business, so take care of it.
How did you get into dance first?
My aunt put me into dance. My parents did not.
You did not?
No.
So it's kind of a blessing.
My mom's sister,
your aunt kind of just like...
And I was not supposed to dance after my 15th birthday. I have a herniated disc in my back that was supposed to paralyze me for life.
Fuck.
And I made it through. So that's why I say I leave my footprint. Every day is such a gift.
Yeah.
A gift, a blessing. It is truly an honor to do what I do every single day and live off of that.
What made you stick with dance? Because, like, obviously, like...
Oh, I quit. I quit my freshman year in college.
What made you get back to dance?
I ended up at the dance studio down the street from my college, which was my dance teacher from Dallas. And
how did you end up there?
I went to school in Oklahoma, and she moved from Oklahoma to open a studio in Dallas. And it was the same studio as the one in Oklahoma, but it was just the Dallas branch.
Okay.
And I danced there. And when I went to school, and when I went to Oklahoma State, I did not know that studio was down the street. I had no clue where it was in Oklahoma. I just knew it was in Oklahoma. And I looked and I was like, wait, it's down the street. And I ended up in class every single day, helping her, teaching, going there to take class. So it was
because of that person?
Because of her, I ended up back in it.
Back in it.
Yeah.
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 What does dance do for you?
Dance is my voice. It's my voice.
Articulate that.
So I always tell people, like I said, when I meet you, I know when I met you by what you call me. Sherwanda was the girl. It's like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce.
Is that her name?
Sasha Fierce was her like stage name.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was like her alter ego.
Okay.
Sherwanda is a very, and when you meet me, I'm a very loving. She's a fucking
light. Bounces a light.
I'm like that. Yeah. However, at home, my comfort zone, those people I would say still hold me to that person. Like the person that would like let people talk over her and apologize when she didn't need to, just because she didn't want to have an issue, step on people's toes. Didn't really talk about a voice. What I was doing was doing it, but people always had something to say because I was doing things they weren't doing. Like, for instance, going to LA in the summer and dancing. Oh, you're so spoiled. And it's like, what you don't know is I was actually making sure I got all A's every year.
So I can't do that.
And asking my parents to budget for it so that I could do those things, because nothing ever came as a, here you go, you get to go do this. It was like, you got to work for it. Like 100%. I always tell people I'm spoiled with love. Like my parents made me work for it, but no matter what, I always got to do it because I worked for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So being who I am and feeling like what I do and my purpose in this world is being a light. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just me. And, I float in this world being me.
Yeah.
And within being me, it resonates. Just, I don't think about life too much. I can't stress.
Yeah.
I found
so that's what dance does for you?
Yeah.
So
it's just allowing me to be me. It's my voice. Yeah. It's like people that have never really seen me perform have no clue.
I guess I have to go see Bounce perform.
He's got to come see me perform. Okay. Look, like, no clue. Like, when I hit that stage, when those lights hit, I just want people to feel.
Or you turn into the person who
had a voice. When I will say, so quarantine started on my birthday. March 15th was when we got locked down. March 16th, there was no going outside after, So that year, I turned 27, and I was like, my birthday just passed. And
yeah,
it's
me
like,
too. Pisces, let's go.
Pisces. So now that I'm here at 29, I'm like, yo, you made it out. Like, I told myself, like, you're going to let dance get you through this. You're going to stay out here. You're not going to go home. I have so many friends that moved back home. I was like, you're not going to go home. Yeah. You're going to stay out here. You're going to let dance do what it does. And I have booked more than I've ever imagined, and everything I wanted. Yeah. I did a movie. I did an Apple commercial.
So.
I worked with Mary J. Blige. Yeah. I did the Billboard Award. Like, I've done things that were on my bucket list and things that I was focused on. And
you could have moved home.
I could have moved home, but I didn't.
Yeah. Out of all our friends, I mean, like all our dance friends, I think they've been more booked and blessed than any time in their whole dance career.
I mean, even Key, I'm like, you are killing it.
Yeah.
She's like, I met this person. You know this person. I'm like, that's the homie from home. Like, it's like cool to see like the worlds collide in different ways. And I even tell people, like, so many people left that the people that really took this time these last 3 years and took them serious, rebirthed themselves, like reinvented themselves for the better, took what was happening and learned from it. Like my grandfather always says, if you don't learn from your successes and your failures, you're not learning at all. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah. Like, you can't just go with one thing. You have to go with both, because you have to have balance. Those people that found that balance and found themselves, I have a lot of friends that are like not taking shit for shit anymore. And I love that, because I'm not either. In that time are the people getting what they're supposed to be getting. Yeah. And the people that...
I also feel like you grow at a exponential rate when you do that. Yeah. Because like back to what you said about the comfortability, I could pretty much guarantee that those people who you're talking about aren't growing on a level you are because of that mindset.
And that's where the comfortable comes in. It's not as a bad thing because I go home to get comfortable again and reset myself. I'm like, okay, I feel good again. Let me go back to my lifestyle because it's crazy here. Like it's already crazy enough.
Sometimes it's attractive. Like when you go home, you're like, wow, like I'm not worrying about much. I could low key just like get like a 9-to-5 job if I want to, enjoy my day, like have weekends off, like enjoy my nights versus like every hour, every single second, blah, 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 blah.
Back to what you were saying about WeHo being turned on a Tuesday. Me and my girlfriend were talking about that. Like on my birthday was on a Tuesday and I went to brunch and I'm like, what are the odds? Like, what does anybody in LA work? Like, it's packed at this restaurant on a Tuesday.
Especially the friends that we have, they work hard. It's like literally definition of work hard, play hard. Because like, I'll see Christina. Like,
oh my gosh,
she'll
the turn up queen.
Work, and play, and then wake up at 5 a.m. to teach a class. I'm like, what the fuck?
There was so many times me and Chris were like, so, do you have a voice today or am I going to be the one to demo? I mean, but it's true. It's like I went hard last night and I'm hoarse. Yeah. Or I've been yelling all week doing this for y'all and now I'm going to go out and have more fun.
Honestly, your voice sounds amazing compared to like when you were coaching. The girls who coach, their voice is different after like 7 classes straight.
Hoarse.
No, yeah.
Hoarse. Like...
I didn't even Bounce sounds different when I first met her.
He met me on you probably met me on day 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, hey.
Oh, I want to tell you this story about, so you know how I went out in WeHo?
Yes.
So I'm just getting into WeHo, like we're driving, I'm about to park, and this guy's like walking like a model down the crosswalk, and I was like, okay, get it. I realized he doesn't have pants on, and he's hard, and he has like he has a piece. He has like it's like 17 inches, and he's just walking, and this thing's going. I was like, welcome to WeHo, we're back, we're back, baby.
Welcome back to LA, WeHo night.
I know. Okay, so what do you think made you or like have this mentality? Because like there's a lot of people who are like woe is me type of people. There's a lot of people who are like are sad all the time. There's a lot of people who are depressed all the time, and like obviously you could be clinically depressed, like actually have like chemical issues in your brain, but I guess like what do you think? For me it was books. For me, I read a lot of self-help books. I'm kind of out of that phase now, and it made me a better person. It made me think about like why I thought certain thoughts, why I was sad about certain things, and why I thought bad about myself, and turned that into a positive.
So self-help books were definitely one for me.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I think it's just, I was talked over a lot growing up. Yeah. So I'm all about listening to people.
Yeah.
But have you ever had like everything that you are about and doing almost taken away from you?
Give me an example.
I almost had the one thing I care about in life literally taken away from me.
Dance from your back.
Yeah, not just that. Just in the last 2 years. I had a reset moment. Actually, right after you met me. Nope, right before you met me. Right before you met me, beginning of quarantine, I have this thing where I always have random like fainting spells.
Like you'll faint? Yeah. Okay. You don't know why?
I do now.
Oh.
But this happened, my junior year in high school for the first time. What I know is the first time. Then when I got on the ship, it happened again. And then it happened in 2019. Now, mind you, these are years apart from each other. So it's very like, this is random. But the last time it happened, I had a seizure. And it was okay, like what is going on? And I went all the way back home to Texas to have all the tests done with my parents because I was like, I mentally can't do this by myself. Like, mentally cannot do this by myself. 100%. And the doctors over here like, you can't drive for a couple months. Mind you, if you live in Los Angeles,
you need to fucking drive.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I did public transportation for a day. I was like, I'm a dancer. I have auditions to get to.
New York, bro. You cannot
do
anywhere.
You can't do it.
Subway.
You need a car. So I was like, You telling me I can't drive after having a seizure for a certain amount of months in order to be cleared for my license to be back to me? Like that? Or you can't be in a room with flashing lights and da-da-da-da. I am a burlesque dancer in a rock and roll burlesque show. We're always in a small space with flashing lights. You're telling me my whole well-being, like my whole life is about to flip.
Sure.
Crazy. So syncope is where your blood pressure like spikes really, like drops really low, really quick. I have a heart murmur. So for me, I have to be very cautious about stressing. And so when people say I'm a very bubbly person, it's like, I'm not.
I have to be, bro.
It's not that it's not that it's not me. Yeah. It's that I have learned to balance out life to not stress over the crazy shit anymore. And with that, it made me realize like people are people. We all have some shit we're going through. Yeah. So be it. Now, one thing I will say is people on my ship used to call me a mirror. They're like, whatever people give you, you're going to give them back. I'm a reflector. Like, you give me something, I'm going to show you that too. And not out of being rude, but I'm also a person that like, I'm going to let you feel how I feel so that you understand how you're making somebody feel. Because I feel like we all can learn from each other. Yeah. Every day.
I feel like you learn from any human being.
Every single day. Yeah. My girlfriend's a Taurus. I'm a Pisces.
I don't know what that means.
So her being a Taurus, she's very stubborn, but she's such a lover, but she hides her feelings. I'm a very feelings out. Let's talk about it. I've had to even learn from myself. I'm sure with you and Kiana, y'all have y'all's communication skills that you've learned from her love language or whatever it may be. Like, my girlfriend has to process and step away and process before she comes and talks about it. Whereas I'm a person that's like, I want to talk about it while it's present. I don't want to sleep on it. And I've learned to now sleep on it. And it's actually been better for me. Yeah. Like sleep on it, think about it, and or step away from it for a second, get your thoughts together, come back to it. People are people. Yeah. And sometimes we forget that. Yeah. We want to put everybody on a pedestal. And it's like, no. Yeah. That's why I live life to be me.
So what's your advice to, I guess, like, because you had this like great life experience that benefited you positively, even though it was like a tragedy, and it made you this like light, and you were super happy all the time. I'm fucking happy, and sometimes sometimes I don't like to say that because a lot of people aren't happy.
No, and I like when people are like, "How's your day going?"
I'm like, fucking great,
and then they're like, "I'm okay." I'm like, "Oh." So now I'm always like, I'm gonna ask first.
I know. You know, so like, what's your advice to like someone who isn't happy, who is sad, who like doesn't enjoy their life and like who feels like a woe is me type of deal?
You have a choice to make it better.
There you go.
You have a choice to make it better. And
I mean, that's easy to say though, isn't it?
It is easy to say. It's not easy to do though. Yeah. And I'm saying that because I have had to do it myself. Yeah. I've had to have my days where I've picked up myself and said, look. Yeah. You gotta find it. You gotta, because there's something in you that is trying to shine. And literally, I'm telling you this. There's something in you that's trying to shine. It might have just been overshadowed over and over and over again. Yeah. We all have layers we're peeling back. And some are shiny and the darker might be inside, and some it might be the opposite. But we are all going through this thing called life. And as I always say, don't judge a book by its cover. Open it up and see you can connect with. Yeah. Because there's always something in there for you. So choose it. Choose you first and foremost. Always choose you.
Love that.
Always choose you. And I'm saying that from somebody who has had to choose me when my family didn't support my lifestyle. Yeah. Has had to choose me when people didn't believe in me being a professional dancer. Have had to choose me when people thought I was going to fail because of who I am. There's somebody always going against you, but guess who's always on your side? You.
Yeah. Were your parents always supportive?
My parents have always been supportive of me. However, they thought it was just my mom more. And my mom is a very structured person. So when I say this, I don't think that she didn't support me. But my mom is the baby of 6. She's very smart. A lot of things came easy for her. I've had to work a lot harder. My brother pushed me. He was like, if you don't want to go to school, don't go to school. I'll be the one to say I told you not to go. But you were exposed to life in a different way so early. I told you I was on a plane early. Yeah. I was exposed to life so early, so my life was already going in a different direction.
Yeah.
But as I always tell people, your parents gave you a skeleton, you put the skin on it. So be you.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. I didn't really like love school. I went to community college, and then I went to UCLA, but I really wanted to become a professional golfer. And so I decided not to go to a 4-year. I went to community college to pursue golf because I had a torn ligament in my wrist. So I was like, back to your thing. Yeah. I don't want to regret anything in life. So I just went through it, and I realized I will not be a professional golfer, but I will never regret it anymore, right?
No, you did. You went for it.
Yeah, I won it, but I won't regret. Like, when I wake up and I'm 65, I'll be like, fuck, what if I tried to?
Right.
I tried.
And think about how many people start late and stuff.
Yeah.
Like time is just
time.
Like, time doesn't wait on us, so why are we waiting on it? And I always say that. Like, why am I waiting on time when it's not waiting on me?
Yeah.
So I'm going to live. My grandmother, before she passed, and honestly, this is crazy to say because today is her birthday. And I love
happy
you, Grandma.
birthday, Grandma.
But I was her own. She had 6 kids of her own and 13 grandkids, and I'm the only other March baby.
Oh.
And I'm the only other baby she saw literally born into this world.
Aww.
And before she passed, she said, what you're doing, continue doing it. Don't regret it. Don't look back. No matter who tells you.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
No, I love that mindset just because, like, for me, like, I grew up in an Asian household, and there's like a little bit of like a stigma.
I got to live it with, I'm telling you, living in Asia, I learned a lot.
Yeah. And so, like, for me, even though in the back of my head, I was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, I took a lot of things out of it. I met a lot of cool people, a lot of connections, and honestly, it did wonders for me. Right. It did great. Back to the whole thing of like, everything that you do makes you who you are type of deal.
Yeah.
But relating it back to you is like, to stand up for like what you believe in yourself, what you're gonna do, like that's beautiful. Just like following your intuition, because like I feel like your heart tells you where to go, and like obviously a lot of people tell you to go a different way.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Right. They tell you wear your heart on your sleeve. I'm like, okay, what's so bad about that? I just feel like I'm a person like, why is there always a negative? Like, why does there have to be a negative? Why can't there just be
many friends?
Right. Like, you have too many friends. What is wrong with that? Like, literally, I can call this friend for this. Can you call your friend for this? Yeah. Like, I have people, and I think that's the thing, is like building a strong community. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with having a lot of that in your a lot of people in your strong community. If they're valuable. Yeah. That's the perspective of life people keep forgetting. Y'all are looking at quantity over quality. And it's like, I have quality and quantity. And I'm okay with that.
Also, it's awesome being a person that people want to be around.
I'm glad we can talk about this.
Because like, being a person that people want to be around gives you joy too. You know? Like, this isn't conceited in any way, and I feel like we're similar. Like, a lot of people want to hang out with me.
Yes.
And I feel like,
I love being around you. Like, you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I love being around you. It's
a good thing.
It's good vibes. Or you do have anything planned, I would love to go.
You know? Yeah. It's a great thing. And like, I don't know why it's looked at in a negative light. Like, but the thing is, like, when those feelings are good, because if something good happens to you, you want to tell somebody. If something bad happens to you, you want to tell somebody. Mm-hmm. And at least you have someone to tell it to. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, when we first met, I was like, I love this guy. Like, Nick used to ask me, like, who do you want to work with? I'm like, Nate.
Aww.
I would ask, like, he would always ask me, but once again, like we were just talking about, like our relationship with him was very open. So he would always ask me, and I of course, 'cause I want to be around great people and I want to bring great vibes. Like F45, first off, those workouts are not easy. So like you want to give people the feeling of feeling like they're not working out. They're doing something great. You want to always make people feel great. Yeah. You always want to make people feel great. This world is already hard enough. Yeah. And we've already made it hard enough just by the structure of what they've created.
Of society.
Yeah. So
Unless you want to be a hippie, you can just do whatever. Smoke some weed,
I call
take some
myself
mushrooms.
a modern day gypsy hippie. Okay, I've moved every year. This is the longest I've stayed somewhere.
That's good.
In a minute. Like being here almost 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Back here 4 years. Once again, I was here 2015 and I stayed for 8 months and then I moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
I've moved every year since I graduated high school. But those many moments of moving around has exposed me to so many great people.
Yeah.
And great moments. Modern day gypsy hippie.
Is that the romance of being in the industry? Because like
it could take you anywhere.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of people who are in it for like many years and they get no, and I respect it until they get a yes. Cool, but like
you get so many no's.
Yeah.
I've had that's why it's crazy when people are like, "You're booking." I'm like, do y'all know how many auditions I did this week or this month? Like,
or this year?
Right. Like this one is great.
Yeah.
But also after this one's done and I get to cheer it on.
Yeah.
I'm on to the next one. Like it
100%.
looks great when you see it.
Yeah, you don't know the whole story.
But you don't know the whole story.
Go read.
Once again, guys, if you didn't take anything from this, go read.
What are you most excited for in your life right now?
I'm excited for what's to come. I'm just excited. No, I have no clue. I'm just excited for what's to come. We just did an audition today. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm excited for that if that comes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of dance? Because like I feel like for I guess Kiana, like she expresses herself most through heels.
Yes.
Right, and she's
great at what she does.
Great at what you do, but there's so many types of dance.
Yeah.
So
African dancing is one of my favorite.
What's that?
Just African style.
I don't know what that.
Literally African style dancing. African dancing is a whole genre.
I never really see you do that on your page or anything like that. Is it on there?
I just did Afrofusion. So Afrofusion, it was a little like.
Is that like Afro beats kind of? Okay.
So like in that realm, but like even realm. Like traditional African, like with drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to show you some stuff.
Yeah, I've been learning some TikToks.
Yeah, I've seen. First of all, y'all, Nate had a goal to dance. And it's been happening just like he had a goal to do his back tuck, and you got that.
I got it. I only got it one time.
It's okay. Well, first of all, because tumbling is already scary in itself. You have to like do it every day.
Yeah. No, it's
you know
scary.
What I miss?
What?
Acro.
You miss acro?
Yeah, I do.
Mr.
Yes.
The acro machine?
Yes.
What got you wanting to do that? Was it because of Vic?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had been watching Vic for a minute.
Yeah. Did you know him before you met him?
So the funny thing is, coached him maybe 3 times before I realized who he was. And then I danced with Trini, who is his like.
Trinity's awesome, like his sister.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this is him. And so I told him I knew who he was, and he was like, meet me here one day, and we did it. And the first day he had me already flipping. Yeah. He was like, normally I don't do this, but I just feel like you'll do it. And I nailed it. I have not done it since, and I'm very sad about it, but it's because I got booked, and it just like he was in Hawaii and he's traveling. Awesome. But I do plan on like that is a 2022 goal is to be more consistent, and I just need to start going to Venice.
Yeah,
because you've gone, right?
I've gone a few times, and then me and Kiana took a couple, and a friend of mine, Chelsea, we took a couple lessons with Vic, and he also wants a lot more bases out there who are like normal. Mm-hmm. He was on the podcast. He was talking about it, about how it's like kind of like too like seclusive. Like you gotta be enlightened. Yeah, and no, you don't.
It's funny because maybe that's probably. I'm like me and his sessions were dope. Mm-hmm. I'm like Venice. I feel like I would have to be just so on with like.
Like, it's different.
I'm not. Yeah. I am that kind of person. I'm a very enlightened person, but it's just like it's a different. Everybody that knows Venice knows it's Hippieville. So like, it's just. But I want to go. I want to go out there and work with him and other people. But also he himself was like, there's not that many Black women that do it, so I would love to keep you going.
And I feel like you'd be good at it.
I had so much. That first day, I was
like, your body awareness is like very good.
I was so happy. I was like, let's do it again.
Do you have anything else that you want to do besides acro? Because like,
so I do aerial a little bit.
Okay.
I'm getting more back into that. Like I said, I do burlesque. Anything pole. I like everything. I skate. I'm a skater.
Yeah.
Like you
just said before the podcast though that you're trying to like like narrow into like you stay
So
out,
I've been
do
focusing on
what you came out here for.
TV and film is so dancing, but using dance as like the premise to it. So TV and film has been my focus.
Is
lately.
there like an end goal?
No. What used to be, yes. I mean, if I had to say something, I want to have my own like production academy.
Yo, I love that you don't low-key have an end goal, because a lot of people ask like, what's your like 10-year plan, 5-year plan?
Yeah.
And my definition of success, which I came up with, I don't know, someone might else also said it, but it's like doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with the people who you want to do it with.
Leaving my footprint on every heart that I come across.
Yeah.
And whether that be singing, dancing, I'm just gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you're a daredevil like me. Like you're just like, let's try it.
Yeah.
Like let's do it. I don't have an end goal. What used to be a goal of like, this is what I want to do, tour. Like it's not. I just whatever is for me is gonna make its way to me. I'm gonna find my way to it. It's gonna work out, and we're gonna go from there.
Yeah.
You know, like. Yeah, I want to have a production academy, but every time I say that to somebody, which is why I don't say it anymore, it's like, oh, so you want to have dance? And it's like, no, I actually want to have photographers, dancers, producers. Yeah. I want to have a music studio, a dance studio, a film studio. I want to have it all, and where I can teach people to work with each other instead of always having to outsource. You have a home here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you can come into this home and make yourself available to other people. I want to teach people, because I feel like we lose sight of the business side on a lot of stuff too as artists, and I want people to be.
I feel a lot of people suffer because of that. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand it.
My mentor, who I actually auditioned for today, she's a big person on that. She asked a question a couple weeks ago on her story and was like, what's the most, like the biggest thing that most people do not know about in this industry? And everybody said all these other like answers, and I said business. She said ding 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 ding, but it's true. But even my parents, like, I'm grateful for them saying this is what you need to do first. I know how to budget, because hello, being an artist is not always the most fulfilling when it comes to money. And not that it's not, but there's net 30 and you have to still pay rent, and you might have a job and rent is due the next month, and you're not going to get that
check for 6 weeks.
Or they don't send that check until the 30th day, and then you're waiting 3 more weeks to get it. It's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So I've learned to, once again, step away from, and not saying when I get out of the dance room, I'm not Bounce the dancer anymore, but I've learned to look at life in a different way, because if this was taken away from me at any point, because it already almost has been twice, I would still be able to live off of my craft, but maybe not be physically doing it. So I can still be a dancer, but because I know how to be a producer and a director and a creative director, if you pull me into the room, I could still be creative directing an artist and still living off of what I do. Yeah.
Do you know who Mitzi Shore is? Yeah. So that's basically what she did for comedians. Yeah. You know, and like, I feel like if you love something, like some people are meant to teach. Yeah. Like they're not meant to do.
Everybody is not meant to do.
You know, everyone has a certain spot in the world, a little puzzle piece to fill in. Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. I think that's it. That was great. Everyone, where can we find Bounce at? Actually, real quick, what's your podcast about?
So I have the Bzy-B wine down. Yeah, I am a lover of wine, but we drink anything. The slogan is "Let the libations guide the conversation." Okay. Depending on what my guest likes, sure. But yeah, the Bzy-B wine down is just open conversation about life. I love conversation. I love drinks. Yeah. And I love good people.
There we go. And then I am Bounce on Instagram.
Yes,
right?
so it's I.am.bounce on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook as I Am Bounce and YouTube as I Am Bounce as well.
And where can someone, if they were in LA, go see you like perform? Like where can they do that?
If you want to see me perform, I just started dancing at the Westlake Inn in Westlake. And also Cherry Boom Boom shows at Harvell, Santa Monica, and Harvell's Long Beach. They are starting back hopefully soon.
Alrighty, y'all. Miss Bounce. Peace. That was fun, girl. Thank you. Bye.